on, guys? ChaseWins.com coming to you for Sunday, September the 13th, the first NFL Sunday of the season. I know everyone's excited. I am as well. And let's get into it. We're going to give you a free play, what we like in an NFL game. This is one that some of you, I think I'll get some split reactions on this free play. Some of you will like it, some of you won't, some of you for obvious reasons. But let's touch on a few things here. First off, I have to give a congratulations to Patrick, my Nascar handicapper. He, at about 7 a.m. Eastern time this morning, welcomed a beautiful baby boy into the world, him and his wife, Angela. She actually came a couple of weeks early, wasn't set. I think she wasn't due until like the 28th of this month, I think was the due date, their first child. So they were waiting until he, they having kids a little late in life, I guess. But, he's been working with NASCAR for 15 years now and, travels all the time. So he was getting ready to settle down. This is his, last and final season with the actual NASCAR organization. And then he was just going to be with me full time, do some podcasting stuff, and do something that he's always wanted to do. So he was actually in Richmond this weekend for the race, and his wife, because it was going to be his last season, and that's how they met, I guess. She had been traveling with him to some of the races, and she decided that this was going to be, her last one, because after that, the baby would be here. So they went, and kind of a funny story. We were set to have a conference call yesterday afternoon, and I wasn't even thinking about the race being yesterday. I had it in my head that we were just having our conference call to prepare for Sunday. And, he's texting me going, hey, conference call, need to do it at this time. I'll have all information after that. And I wasn't even thinking about it. And they were at their hotel, got ready, and got into an Uber or a Lyft or something like that. And that's when, I guess, her water broke. I don't know. But needless to say, I got a text message from him about 15 minutes after our conference call should have started, and I had called him and he didn't answer, and he said, hey, at the hospital, baby's coming. I'm so sorry. And he actually felt bad. I talked to him later last night and then again this morning after everything, and he feels terrible that he didn't get to release the NASCAR card that he was working on. He had a card ready. The reason that I didn't release it was because he always goes over final inspection reports. We go over final numbers. Everything gets approved. And because he didn't get to do his final rundown that he always does, just to make 100% sure that he's not going to make changes or that nothing within the race or drivers have changed that would make him lay off of a driver or add a driver or whatever the case may be, I said, listen, you do not need to apologize. This is the birth of your first child. This comes before business. This comes before clients. And again, all of our clients are family. So I know that most of them will be completely understanding. I know some of them probably won't. They'll say things like, the baby, that doesn't, that means nothing to me, or what's that got to do with me? I want my plays, whatever. They'll have something stupid to say. But I wanted to give a personal congratulations. I know he is beyond excited. And I talked to him just a few hours ago. Baby, 7 pounds, 2 ounces, 20 inches long, tall little guy. I'm not going to say his name yet. I know they were deciding between two, but I'm not going to say his name on air unless he wants me to, and I haven't found out which one they decided yet. But Patrick, Angela, congratulations. God has blessed you with a beautiful, healthy baby boy, and I know you guys are excited and overwhelmed right now. Been a long 24 hours. So they will be there for the next few days, I'm assuming, and then he will be back at home. I talked to him. I said, if you need a week off, let me know. He goes, nope. He said, I feel terrible for not even getting a card out for this race. We got Bristol coming up next weekend. He's like, so I'll be working from home. There will be a big NASCAR card. And he guaranteed me, he said, to make up for not having a card, he said, this Bristol playoff race is going to be one of the biggest we've had all season. He said he guarantees a top play, if not multiple top plays. He may even have a NASCAR game of the year, and that's something that we've never released before. So, everybody send you love. Your congratulations to Patrick and Angela. They deserve it. And what he also wanted to do, he's on cloud nine right now. And so what we're going to do as a welcome to the world special, I guess, for their baby boy, he said to drop the NASCAR down for today and today only until midnight. You can get the NASCAR package the rest of the season, the 8 playoff races, every premium play, top play, everything, for $100. Now, keep in mind, these are $50 a race cards. So every Sunday or every weekend, you would pay $50 to get the race card. You can get all 8 races that we've got left for $100. Now, come Monday, that price goes back up. So you're not going to get it. But he wanted to do something special. He's on cloud nine. I mean, he'd probably give it away for free right now. I'm not going to let him do that, though. So make sure you go do that. Make sure you leave some love for him. He looks at my Twitter page a lot. So go over to Twitter @PicksChase and leave your support and congratulations and stuff there, because I don't think he checks YouTube too much, and I want to make sure he sees it all. So anyway, one thing that I have preached over and over and over and over is that playing high-volume football week 1, it doesn't matter if it's NFL, it doesn't matter if it's college, is risky business. It's very risky. And why do I say that? Because you've got new players coming in that have to learn the system. You have a team that hasn't played since the previous season. They've got to knock the rust off. They've got to knock the dirt off. You may be having people that had injuries the year before. You know, rookies. So many different things come into play that you can't go off of last year and say, here's my scouting report. We do, but that's our starting point. And that scouting report gets adjusted, built out, and created based on new numbers, things that are going on in the season. Case in point, yesterday, we did not have a good college football day. But the problem is I made a mistake, and this is something I've never done before. I get pestered all day, every day about when are your plays coming out? I start getting that question every day before 7 a.m. Sometimes as early as 5:30 a.m., I'll get up, I'll look at my phone to check the news for the day, check, what I think the stock market's going to do, any sports news that came out, over the few hours that I was asleep, and I'm text messages, email, hey, when are your plays going to be coming out today? Dude, it's not even daylight yet. No games even come on until 7 o'clock tonight. Oh, well, can I have them by 9 a.m.? I don't hold plays, guys. If my play's ready, it's posted and out there, and everybody's made aware. I don't hold a game. Not now, not ever, because lines can move. But I'm also not going to just say, you know what, I look at these games, I like them, here you go. No, I'm going to make sure that they are the right ones. And starting on Tuesday of this past week, I started getting asked about NFL. And I said, look, we're probably going to have a play on Thursday, which we did. We had the Chiefs, easy winner there. But then coming into our first real week of college football, I was getting pestered after, person after person after person, even some of my long-term people, my veteran clients that know the way I do things, that have been with me multiple football seasons, that know that usually on week 1, I might have a play, maybe 2, maybe. A lot of times, I don't do much because I want to scout these teams to see what we're working with, the true product on the field. And I let them pressure me into giving out the games that the numbers added up. But again, some of these numbers are previous numbers because none of these teams have played yet. And of course, it bit us because teams were rusty. Case in point, Clemson University, our free play yesterday. That's the first free play that we've lost in over a week. And, we very rarely lose a free play. Yesterday, they go out and put, the total was sitting at 59, actually, when we released the game. So when we did the free play video, about 30, 45 minutes later was when the entire card was released. That line had moved down to 59. So that's what we released it at. They had scored over, half the points by themselves in the first half. So they could have covered the total by themselves. In the second half, Clemson scores once? Wake Forest has 4 different opportunities to get in the end zone and they don't do it. So who's considered the best offense in college football, who goes out there and basically puts up 30 points in the first half and makes it look easy? You mean to tell me they can't put up any points in the second half? You mean to tell me that a defensive line that's basically all brand new that wasn't doing a good job all night, you can't get past them one time? Well, they got past them one time, but 4 other different times they couldn't get past them one of those times. So again, it was a fluke that we lost it. Clemson should have covered it by themselves, but they didn't. Texas Tech went out there yesterday, had 4 different people calling offensive plays. Still don't understand that one. They went out there, thought the game was over before it started, which technically playing Houston Baptist it was, but they let the team hang around, a team they should have beaten by 50 points. What Oklahoma did yesterday is what Texas Tech should have done, but even worse. Notre Dame, you can accept the way Notre Dame played because their defense was decent. Their offense took some time to get into rhythm. They really didn't start playing their true style of offense until the fourth quarter. But you gotta hand it to Bryce on the side of Duke. He looks like he's been playing with that offense his entire career. So he did a very good job. Notre Dame really didn't have an answer for him because they didn't expect it from him, so they didn't adjust very quickly. You got to hand it to North Carolina. Their offense was playing well below average at the very beginning of the game, and in the second half, they blew the floodgates were open wide up to show that if anybody's sleeping on North Carolina this year and you don't think they're going to make a mark in the ACC or just in college football in general, be prepared to lose a lot of money because North Carolina is that sleeping giant in the ACC. I don't want to say sleeping giant because people with half a brain that actually follow it should know that the top 5 recruiting class that they brought in is arguably could be the best. It could be the number 1 if you really want to make the argument for some of the defensive pieces they brought in. Mac Brown, one of the best coaches there ever was. He's there. He hit the ground running. Their quarterback, Sam Howell, is a stud nonetheless. And right now, the only team that you can honestly say talent for talent is better than them would be Clemson University. And the only reason you would say that is because of experience, because of how young the North Carolina team is. If North Carolina was sitting with juniors and seniors if those kids were juniors and seniors at this time with some time under their belt, Clemson wouldn't be the best team in the ACC. North Carolina would. And that's a fact. And it's rare to say that in football, but it's just a fact. So it was a rough day. Now, we split out in MLB yesterday. We cashed 2 more MLB totals that both went soaring over the total in the 5th inning, so easy wins there. I'm very disappointed in the way the Mets couldn't capitalize on 3 different opportunities to win that game yesterday. The Tampa Bay Rays ended up winning, but an error cost them covering the run line, so we split out there. So today, we'll bounce back from, a losing day. Losing days happen, guys. But as you can see, I give my recaps every day. Losing days are not all, they don't happen often. They are rare, especially in Major League Baseball. And in college football, go back to last year. You can watch every single recap I did, every single video that I did. My clients can attest to you. Go on my Twitter feed and pick one of the people. They're all my clients. They'll tell you that last year, we had over 72% for the season in college football. We did in week 1? Well, the first 10 days of the season, we went 1 for 6. Well, 1-4-1. We had 1 push in there, we had 1 win, and we had 4 losses. Think about that. Week 1. Well, the first Saturday and then leading up to the next Saturday. Usually that's how things happen. You play the numbers that you're given, the correct side. Some teams are knocking the rust off, and you take the risk. That's why I don't like doing it, and I refuse to be pressured into doing it again. So in the NFL today, I decided, because there were 3 games that I liked in the early action. The numbers all added up. Love the numbers. Problem is, where are these numbers coming from? They're coming from last year. That's a problem. Last year is for shit. It doesn't mean anything. We're in 2020 now. Only this season matters. Only this year's numbers are going to matter. Last year's numbers mean nothing. But because that's all you have to study in week 1, usually you have some preseason, which may give you a little insight for some defensive end stuff. But there was no preseason, so you don't even have that. Not to mention, look at what we have this year. We have a season to the likes of which no one's ever experienced before with this whole COVID bullshit. So we don't know what to expect. We only will know when it happens. But there were 3 games. The Ravens, -7. I like the game. The numbers added up. Lamar Jackson, very, very talented athlete. I don't think he's a great quarterback, but outside of Patrick Mahomes, he used his legs better than anybody that's ever been at that position. Well, you could argue Cam Newton's really good at it too, but Cam Newton's dealt with some injuries, obviously. But Cleveland, who I think will be one of the most improved teams in all of the NFL this year. If you really want my opinion on who will be the most improved team, I think Atlanta is going to be in there. I mean, Todd Gurley should have been with them from the jump. I think that's going to bring a whole new presence to that team. I think Vegas is going to be improved. I think Carolina is going to struggle more than a lot of people think. I've always been an advocate for Derek Carr. Nobody's jumped on that bandwagon with me. I think that if Matt Nagy gets his head out of his ass and actually lets Trubisky be the quarterback and the pocket passer that he is and use his arm, the Bears will be improved. I would love to say that Detroit will be improved, but I just don't know that Matthew Stafford is ever going to be back to the health that he needs to be, and which is sad because I love Stafford. I don't think that Green Bay is going to do anything near what they did last year because I think Aaron Rodgers wants to just give a big fuck you to that organization. I think Washington is too caught up on social justice propaganda to do anything. I think Philadelphia will start the season strong but then tank at the end because they're just not that good. There's a lot of things this season. I think Miami will be improved, but I think that Cleveland is going to be very much improved from last year. But they're not the Baltimore Ravens, and they're not going to be. So laying 7, I put that out as a lean to my clients. What I'm saying is there were 3 games. I didn't release them any as premium plays. Sent them out as strong leans via email to every one of my clients, even some clients that their package has expired here recently. I sent it to them too just as a kickoff and a thank you for always supporting me. But I told everybody, I said, the numbers line up. If we're just going off of numbers, these would be premium plays all day long. I'm not going to release them as premium plays because I haven't seen these teams play since last year, or since some of them since January. That's just not smart investing. That's being a gambler, itching for action. We don't do that here, and nor will I be pressured into doing it just because somebody wants to pester the shit out of me. But I will release it as a lean because I'm going to put some money on it because I'm going to follow the numbers. And then next week, I'll have at least the start of my scouting report, and we can start really throwing some money on it. So I released as a lean the Baltimore Ravens to them. The under 39.5, some people may have gotten it at 40 with the Jets and the Bills. And the Chicago Bears plus 2.5. Some people may have got it at 3. But just the numbers add up. And plus, there's a few things that I'm looking at that most people probably wouldn't. It's just something I don't think is being taken into consideration. And one of those things is the health of Trubisky. So it is what it is. We'll see. But there may very well be possibly 2 plays premium-wise in the NFL. One of them I'm going to give you now that I'm going to play. There will be MLB action. There will be NHL action. And let's get down to it. Cincinnati Bengals, the worst team in football for the last 3-4 years running? Terrible team. The best player in college football in Joe Burrow coming in at first overall, going to the Cincinnati Bengals, playing in his home, in his home state of Ohio. What do we expect from Burrow? That is the question that everybody's been asking. You have some skeptics out there that say he was great in college. Can he hack it in the NFL? Because so many college quarterbacks that were just amazing college quarterbacks can't hack it in the NFL. And then you have your average college quarterbacks that end up being your Hall of Famers. Case in point, your Tom Brady's. I'll be honest with you, people may not agree with me about Drew Brees, but he went to Purdue. I didn't see anything overly special with Drew Brees in his college career. Patrick Mahomes, he was great in college, but he was nothing that was making everybody stop what they were doing on a Saturday afternoon to say, Texas Tech's playing, I have to go watch this. You have people like a Jalen Hurts or somebody like that we don't know if they're going to be good or not, but they were phenomenal in college. That's the question. That's going to be the ever-looming question until we figure out what Burrow's going to do. And he very well may tank and not be shit in professional football. I'll tell you this, people are going to be gunning for him. They don't like rookies to succeed. They went for Cam Newton when he was a rookie. They went for Winston when he was a rookie. Patrick Mahomes, they were trying to eat him alive too. He's just better. Lamar Jackson, they went for him. He's just too quick. I honestly, if you were asking me now, if I had to take $1,000 and bet money as to whether or not Joe Burrow will last in the NFL and have some form of success or he'll fail, I'm sorry. I've got to go with the fact that I think the kid will be good. I don't know that he'll be LSU, NCAA good. I don't know if he'll control a team like that, but I think he'll be good. And the beautiful thing is he's coming into a team that can't go anywhere but up. They've hit the rock bottom. So now you come in and they're playing a team from the West Coast that they're putting in a quarterback that quintessentially has a lot of high hopes. They're looking at his numbers, they're looking at his ratings and saying, this guy's going to be good. Okay, fair enough. He's going to be good. So you put him in the same category as Joe Burrow, right? Joe Burrow's going to be good. Nobody's proven to be anything yet. One thing is for certain, he's not Phillip Rivers. The defense, I don't think is talented enough to put enough pressure on Burrow to scare him out of the pocket and make dumb decisions. A.J. Green, somebody said out all last year, but it has already had a Hall of Fame career. He seems to be 100% healthy. That'll most certainly be Burrow's top target. And one thing is for sure, Burrow has proven that one thing he feeds off of more than anything in the world is big-time moments. When his back's against the wall, when it's something that's unexpected, he feeds on stopping people in their tracks and having a big moment. He goes out there and wins a Heisman Trophy for his performances. He goes out there and has the performance of a lifetime, wins a national championship. He gets drafted first pick overall by the Cincinnati Bengals. What would be more Showtime moment than going out there in your first start with the worst team in football at home? Parents may be there, maybe not, but they're in Ohio watching and winning this game as an underdog in game one, your very first start, your very first time you suit up for the Cincinnati Bengals in an NFL team and you go out there and win. That's not completely out of the realm of possibility. If I'm looking at passer rating and QB ratings and I'm looking at the offensive and defensive line, Cincinnati is right there with them. There's too many unknowns with quarterback to say that there's a definitive edge one versus the other. If we're looking at, everybody's looking ahead to what's to come, okay, then I think Joe Burrow has the edge. I also think that him being in Ohio, even though that the stadium's not going to matter, I think that him just being there, not having to go to an unknown place and play, I think is going to benefit him. And I think knowing that he is the underdog, knowing that he is the one not expected to do anything on day one, is going to fuel his fire to make a statement day one. And truth be told, because of all of this, I think that this should be an even game. I don't think the Bengals should be catching 3. I think they're catching 3 because of a reaction to what has happened in the past. Well, Joe Burrow wasn't there in the past. A.J. Green wasn't healthy last year. The Bengals had the worst offensive and defensive line in all of the NFL. And obviously it wasn't the COVID season. So take all that and throw it out the window and break down the stats player by player, and you have a dead even game and then a question mark with quarterbacks as to who's going to be successful going forward. And I'm going to put my money on Burrow. So I'll gladly take the 3 points with the home team. I'm going to take Joe Burrow. I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to grab my balls and go with it. And I'm going to take the Bengals and Joe Burrow in game 1 plus 3 points as your free play. Guys, get on a package, jump on Patrick's NASCAR Season 8 races remain. Go wish him a congratulations, him and his wife Angela, on the birth of their son. And on Twitter, @PicksChase. And you can go get the rest of that season for $100. You can get the 1-year all-access pass right now. You buy a year, you get another year absolutely free. So 2 years for the price of one. And what else am I going to do? I'm going to do something for you guys. I tell you what, right now, today and today only, you can get my entire NFL season, week 1 through the Super Bowl, premium plays, daily top plays, prop bets, everything for $499. Go to chasewins.com and get it, and I'll see you back for another big week and another free play on Monday.